and welcome to another episode of Woodward's Watercolors. What's happening is Bertie and I, Bertie the Bongo, the Mazda, the camper van, I think I mentioned it to you that we got one. Woohoo! So I'm going to meet my brother. I'm going to go to a place called Groomsport through where he lives in Donaghadee, which is it's a beautiful place. So I'm hoping for nice scenery on the way. But we're going to Groomsport, which is by the sea. I'm going to send the drone up just so you can see around. It'll be lovely. And then I'm going to capture a reference image that I'm then going to print off and we'll complete in the studio, but we will be having coffee and some nice things to eat, so we'll show you all that, and at that point you can pause and enjoy your coffee or tea or whatever. Sadly I can't share the buns with you, but you know, he might not have buns. I wonder what he will bring. Anyway, you can grab something and enjoy that yourself, but come on, let's get on the road, let's get to Donaghadee and then let's do Groomsport, and I will see you there. Okay, so brother, dearest, and I have stopped outside Groomsport, and it's a smorgasbord of possibilities. So we have a mocha pot, and there's option of Belgian waffle.
Correct.
Belgian waffle or pan au chocolat, which I have chosen.
Lidl's finest.
Belgian waffle.
Other
waffles.
Waffles are available.
And what is this? So the
Yes.
sandwich baking tray. Is there another name for those as well?
They can be called Ridge Monkeys, but
Yes.
mine is the cheaper version of that.
Yeah, and it can't be bad with the cheaper version. So brother dearest is going to make a cup of coffee and some delicious food. The kettle is on over here, and I'm going to go out and fly the drone in this glorious little place called Groomsport. The clouds are gathering a little bit, it's still rather lovely, it's toasty warm in here, and I'll let him make his coffee. So I'll fire the drone up and then see you after that. So, drone's been up, hopefully you enjoyed the footage, and look what we're having. Beautifully warm pan au chocolat. What type of coffee have we got?
It is a Costa coffee decaf.
Costa Decaff. We're going to be healthy tonight.
Yeah.
Little touch of milk, a little bit of boiling water, and now to enjoy.
Done in the mocha pot.
Bye.
Bye.
So I had to show this because, I mean, why wouldn't you? Look, just a few mallows on top of a heated Belgian waffle with absolutely beautiful surroundings. Look, yay. So we have enjoyed our coffee. I even had a cup of chai, had a wee pan of chocolat, Belgian waffle as you saw with some chocolate on it, marshmallows. Oh baby. Now, what I want to do is try and find something that I can paint whenever I'm back in the studio. And I'm going over here, if you look around here, now look at that for a sunset. So I'm going to head over here, head across here to really the marina or harbour area. and then be able to get my reference image, and then I'll drop my brother home, head home, and then I'll get going with the painting. Right, so I am content that I have now photographed something that I want to paint. So next thing to do is get the pop top roof down, get ourselves all packed up and head home, and we'll get going with this in the studio. So come on, let's get going. Well, here we are back in the studio now. It's cozy warm. Well, it's actually nearly too warm in here because it's been such a hot sunny day, and this has a black roof. So I'm really excited because the image that I have decided to go for is this one here of Groomsport. Now, the lovely thing about this is it's going to be in front of you all the time while I'm drawing it as well. And you're going to be able to draw it too if you want to do that. But it's this kind of sunset, and it's almost got this kind of blue tone. So I'm interested to draw this out. I'm actually just going to use standard Unipins tonight. And we're going to use probably the Winsor Newton colours because I know it has that. It's called indigo, that's what it is. Somebody had asked me what colour it was. It's got that wonderful indigo that's going to hopefully be able to capture that sky. We're going to go right through the process. So come on and let's make a start and let's capture this beautiful scene together. Okay, so here we are. What we're using first of all are the Unipins. And what I like to do is I'm going to use the 0.1 and the 0.5. So what we're going to do first of all, let's actually start somewhere differently this time. So I'm looking, it actually is different for me starting in such a different place. Now the pool actually, I don't know, is as kind of straight as that. It seems to be, it's somewhat more of an angle. So we're starting on this boat and we're just going to find the lines of the boat. And I do also want to, I was going to say I want to move quite quickly, but the thoughts behind the moving quite quickly is really that we maintain something that is a little bit more, it's a little bit rounder down there like that. If you notice there, I'm not really being fussy about, you know, correcting things because what I know is that as I go on with this then, and especially with the watercolor, that's going to then remove some of the mistakes in inverted commas that happen as we go along and are sorting this out and making this what it'll be. Now, I do want to spend a little bit of time getting some of the detail of what's on this little boat here because it's going to be really quite a focal part of it. And it's got these two lines here. And also what I want to do is take up the side of the boat there, just getting a little bit more of the detail in there. And we've also got this, it's quite a distinguishing thing as we look at it. That's got a little bit darker, getting that a little bit lighter there, and getting in some of these lines here, getting that, just noticing the different things that are going on and other bits of the boats that are around. To require me to focus ever so slightly just to try and capture something of this. And then this is the most dominant part. So, we'll leave that around there. Shouldn't have gone that line. We'll not worry too much. Okay, so that's the most dominant piece in this is this big boat. And then we've got this landscape that is cutting across. So let's actually do something that I normally wouldn't do. But what it's going to help me do is I've moved now to the 0.5. And what that's going to let me do is get in some of the darker points that are going to be reference points then for me to be able to add in, just trying to bring a difference of the line across as we go down. And then this one as well, it's quite strong too, so we'll keep that strong there. Okay, so that's the bits that I wanted to really lean into. And then underneath this boat here, see, this is what happens then. Once you start noticing other bits, then you just keep going, really. Okay, so we've got the line. I'm trying to judge between where the line, and I'm actually going to lift it up a little bit higher. So just trying to capture then, let's get that a little bit straighter where these houses are across from here. Just really trying to get the vague kind of outline of this as it goes along into the distance there. And then what I'm also noticing is that it starts to come down ever so slightly here, and that beautiful reddy kind of tone over there. Now what you could effectively do is just use the pen to get in most of the darkness there, but I don't really want to do that. I want to use the watercolor for that bit. And then I've got this extra line across here. Okay, and then we've got some of the details of the boats. Now other bits of this I will be able to capture much better with the watercolor. So this is again really just the framework. I remember I was doing a demo at the weekend there, and people were asking me about what the line work I felt accomplished. I don't think it was that they didn't think it accomplished anything, but it was more, what does it accomplish for you? And I said that it gives me a framework. So just trying to, some of these masts, I love the masts, and there's one that's a little bit closer there. And this line down here. There's no real detail, if you see what I mean now. Does that make sense about why I'm investing in the detail in the other bits rather than the bits of the boat? So getting this heavier outline here. Just getting this along here. So I'm not going to do anything more really to that. That's the detail, level of detail that I want to go into with the line work. Getting the quick signature in there, and also going to do my stampers because I absolutely clean love these stampers, particularly for places, you know, and especially for places where I haven't actually painted before. And this is Groomsport, which is close to where my brother lives in Donaghadee, and it's just a really, really, really lovely part of the world. This paper is actually quite interesting. We've got A5 350 GSM Seawhite of Brighton, my beloved paper. So I was struggling to find the O there, but it seems to be just a little bit different to work with. It has, the one side of it has this almost like canvas feel, whereas the other side of it is this kind of more of what I'm used to. The cold press kind of bumps, not kind of bumps, the cold press bumps. So I was researching this place today, good old Wikipedia. So Groomsport means literally, it started off as something like the place of the gloomy servant or something like that. And it's not a gloomy place at all. It's like the most beautiful place. It actually had a customs house because it was that popular for people to leave from and go somewhere else. I think there were some that tried to get to America, but after 8 weeks at sea, admitted defeat and came back again. So it just shows you these little ports now that are just really tourist attractions. Have such rich histories, you know. Okay, so there's Groomsport. If you can just see there in the bottom of the stampers, it's not coming out as beautifully accurate as it normally would. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to go for my, I call everything beloved, but this is the Saucestern Green little pointed wash. I'm going to do my 3 lifts of water. And then I want to try and get, so let me get the beautiful pinky orangey loveliness that there is here in this scene. Maybe mix it a little bit richer than this, but it is quite light actually. It's a wee bit pinkier than that. Have I got, yeah, let's go with that though. Let's see with how this, I think it needs a little more pink. Oh, we're losing a hair there. Okay, let's see how this works out here. Yeah, okay, this is good. Happy with that. Okay, and then some of that also is coming in just into the water, and I'm just going to get a little splat of that. I'm going to run that very, very loosely just across this little bit of sky there. Now, what I want to do is then do my other 3 lifts. I'll only do 2 lifts this time, and this is the indigo. Now, the indigo I think will be really perfect. Now, what I will do is take some ultramarine. I am going to take actually a little bit of cerulean as well and just lift it up ever so slightly. Let's see how this goes across the top. And I want to as well take some of it really thickly. Actually, it needs a little bit of Payne's grey for those clouds, just to sort of bring it down a bit more. It's actually really, really warm in here tonight, so I am hopeful that we can make progress without having to stop too much to let it dry. Like that, I mean, that bit's actually dry as it is, which is just completely crazy because I've literally just laid it down, as you saw. So just giving those little semblance of the clouds across there. And then the other thing that I want to do is look and see, okay, so where's this colour that I've got on my brush again, and it's echoing the sky right there, across to here. Okay, and a little bit there. Okay, the other thing is then underneath where the boat is, then we're almost to really quite a rich black. I'm going to dull this right down with a lamp black. I'm not really tackling, normally I would use, your body moving around. Normally I would use a flat edge brush for doing water, but in this case, I'm actually just going to do this, keep it nice and light. I think we'll just go with that as it is. The paper is so easily drying tonight, which is a little bit crazy. Now, the other thing is then on the boat. So the boat, I am going to see if we can get away with a little wash of the, just a little touch of that ultramarine on it, because it's nighttime. The water is not the water, because it's nighttime. Then the boat is going to look effectively blue because it's white, if that makes sense. That's what the light is going to make it look like. And then I'm just going to touch on a little bit of it there too, and then round the, just do it there as well, and then round the front. Now the other thing is I can get a very loose diluted mix of that richer black that I have used on this bit towards the bottom, and just muddy that a little bit across here. Okay, and I really do want to up the intensity of these colours here, so let me mix as close to this as I can. So I'm just using this, like, it's a very cadmium yellow, and I'm not sure whether that's what type of red that is, but hopefully strong enough to, I think I'm going to make it a little bit more orangey just to make it pop a little bit more. Do you know what else would do that? The quinacridone. Yes, that's what it needed. It needed the joy of the quinacridone for just a little bit of the punchiness. And you can see there that really is giving that a little bit more. Just going to glance that across the top there, and actually it is ever so slightly down there. Now that's so strong, but I'll just weaken that way down. I'm going to add in just a little bit of that. Right, what will that do? Hopefully that will give me just a little bit more of a murky kind of a colour there. Okay, now what we need this to do is I need this bit to dry around here. Now thankfully, because of the way it is in the studio tonight, it's really not going to take very long at all because it is so blooming warm in here. But I need that to dry before I can add in to that horizon line, not the horizon line, where those, you know, round the boat I want to do darker as well. And I need that to dry first before I can do that. So just making this a little bit darker here for trying to get a little bit more of those broken detail of those clouds there. Just moving the brush, lifting it up. Get a feel for where it is, if you know what I mean. Okay. This is a lovely little scene to paint. So light and simple. And okay, so I want this to be dry across here. Now it's actually dry right across there. So what I could actually do is I'm going to pick a sword brush. I don't normally use, well, it's not a sword actually, it's an angle shader. And I want to use the straight lamp black for this because it's so dark. And really it's quite strong as well, so actually even that is not. But it is actually, it is a solid dark. Now, this angle shader, I don't know that I have ever really used it. It's not something that I really have cause to use, but it's nice to have for these kind of things because it's needed. Now, what I will do is just let that one bleed. Now, there's not something you're going to see me do every day. I want that to stay around in this kind of shape there and then let it dissipate throughout. So that's as controlled wet and wet as you're going to see. But hey, wet and wet has its place. Okay, and then just lifting more of this as we go across this horizon line here. I feel like this hasn't really popped as I would like it to, but then I think that could be just the sheer fact of we're working not with a light source, you know, and when you're looking at a photograph, you've got a very, particularly on a phone, you've got a clear, just gone over the signature. Ah, well, who cares? Bonnie, would you like to go and sit down? That might be good. Go and sit down. Okay. Okay, I think I am quite pleased with this. The only thing is this. Sorry. The only thing is this colour here. I would like this to be that bit lighter, but I'm quite struggling as to how to. If we can just get it to look like it's popping ever so slightly, that would be good. I think that's all right actually there. Now, I don't know that I really want to do much more to that. I expected that this would take much longer, but in actual fact, it is quite a simple scene. And also what's happening here is that because it is so warm in here, then this is drying with absolute ease, which is just wonderful. The other thing is there's the shadow underneath this, and I'm gonna just echo that shadow again a little bit more there. Interestingly, that hasn't dried quite yet, this bit where the boat is, but I think that that's actually all right. I do want to get something a little bit muddier in between here. Just to give a little bit more tooth to the kind of scene, just using the side of the angle shader here. I'll draw it across there as well. Okay, and then let's take a little bit of indigo here. Oh. I'll blue that up a good bit more. Just trying to notice a couple of those spots where it's a little bit stronger there. Don't want to keep fiddling too much with this, because as with all of these things, it's really easy just to keep fiddling. And then you can, not that, well, maybe you can lose it, but okay. What I do want to try and do is get this to dry this a little bit more. So I'm squeezing off my brush to do the dab and grab here, just to lift this ever so slightly, because I really want to be able to add a bit more shadow to this. Just a little bit more depth and detail to the boat, and also just get in those buoys there as well, so that they've got that little bit of detail, because that's quite nice too. Hopefully that's going to dry for me. In the meantime though, I can look to get in this buoy up and running. It's much more of a peachy kind of colour. Let's go with that, because this is nice and strong. We can just kind of go for that there. Now if I touch it here, that's going to be a little bit much. Let's go with that. Just need this to dry. Trying to do everything I can to encourage it to dry, because it's gone so well really apart from that. The other thing I want to do is take just a little dab of this black for some of these boats, because they're definitely dark. You know, just giving that a little bit of detail. I love the things that you notice when you're doing paintings. You know, if you didn't get the opportunity to study them, you would never see them. And I really like that, you know, that you, when you're forced to look at something, you can really see it. I really like that. You know, like the detail of those little masts. And because this is how I'm working tonight, I'm really happy to notice these things, you know. It's lovely to be able to do that. Okay. Let me just take that. I can't believe how fast this is drying here tonight. Like, it's crazy. Crazy. Okay, now we're practically dry here on this side. So we're going to be able to get a little bit more depth in, surrounding where the bit of the boat is in here. Just want to get as well where that buoy is. Get that little bit of detail there. Okay, and I am pretty content that that is it. So let me just zoom in that little bit closer for you. Move it up so you can see it even better. And there we have Groomsport. And this was the original. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It was nice to get back to just in a video using the Unipins, which would be my really solid go-tos. Have the two different sizes, the 0.1 and the 0.5, and then I used the dagger brush and that little small pointed wash by Sauce and Green, both which are very inexpensive. The paints also were very inexpensive too. Winsor Newton, I think they're Cotmans, or they're like student grade. and the 350 GSM A5 Seawhite of Brighton paper. Just lovely to use, just really nice, very familiar to me, and because it's so warm in here, then actually it was drying as we went and I didn't need to pause the video and come back to it and add different layers. Lovely little scene. I really hope you enjoyed this one. You got to see my brother again. Gotta love my brother. And it saw us enjoying some nice food together and decaf coffee, which is a bit of a game change for me. In the wonderful Bertie the Mazda Bongo, which was just tremendous. On what a beautiful night. I hope you enjoyed the drone footage. I think I maybe just said that. Anyway, twice. I hope you really enjoyed it. 3 times now. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the little bell icon for more notifications. I sell my artwork and it's available on Etsy. Do please go and visit my website, which is woodwardswatercolors.co.uk. There's a link to my Etsy store. You'll find I think there's well over 200 pieces there that are original, and then I have, I think now, about 20 prints that are available there too. Also, you can subscribe to my mailing list so you'll get more information about me, but you can find all the things that I do there. Anyway, lovely to have you along. Really excited to read your comments, and I will see you sometime soon, but really thanks for watching this one. Okay, bye for now. Bye.